Okay, so get around over here. Linda and I went down to New Zealand for we were a few days shy of 2 months down there. And what happened to me, a few years ago, I was at Oshkosh and walked into one of the convention center things. And here's this booth, Fly New Zealand. And I walked up to the booth, and that sounds cool, but I don't have a certificate to fly, and I don't have a medical to fly in New Zealand. I got a basic med here, and so I can't really charter an airplane from you folks and go fly around New Zealand. You go, well, don't worry about it, pal. We don't just charter our airplanes. Every airplane comes with a pilot. Oh, okay. And so I mean, the upside is you could go. It's really a mix of a tour and doing as much flying as you want. You could not be current to fly. You could have a bad medical, and you could go down there and fly because you got an instructor pilot with you all the time, / tour guide. And so because I was thinking, my father, he lost his medical years ago and his certificate, and he could do this if he had so desired. But one of the things that Linda and I were both amazed with is New Zealand and the varied terrain it is. I sum up New Zealand in this fashion. If you take the west half of the United States, get rid of the Grand Canyon, the deserts down the southwest, and throw in a big healthy dose of Hawaii, and squish that down into something the size of California, you got New Zealand. Because basically that's what it is. I mean, it's the terrain just varies almost just within minutes, particularly when you're flying, and that's what's really cool. Driving is a bitch in New Zealand. Right? Now, Maureen used to go down, and she's the only New Zealand certified person I know. Maureen Griggs. Alan Snowy, I'm sure you've flown down there. Bob Weeks. There's a lot of commercial guys that have flown in New Zealand. So I'm not a good source of information about, quote, how to fly in New Zealand. Talk to Maureen. At least she's got a certificate to do that if she wanted to. But anyway, she warned us, Linda and I, about driving in New Zealand, and everything she said was right. I mean, you can drive north and south. Kinda. You often find yourself, you're in the middle of the island. You want to go over to one coast or the other, and it's only like 60 miles away, and it's going to take you 6 hours to get there. Their roads, I don't think New Zealand ever hired a civil engineer. Their road system was laid out initially by animals and then by domestic animals, and they just built the roads wherever the animals happened to walk. And it's akin to taking a logging road up in the Cascades, throwing down some concrete on it, and painting a line in the middle of it, and there we go. There's a national highway for New Zealand, and she can testify to that. We rented a big RV, 3.1 meters wide, 7.5 meters long, and she was convinced that death for her lied around every curve. I'd never seen her so happy in the morning that we turned that RV in to the rental agency. But I'm digressing. So these are all pictures that I took while I was there. You got coastlines, and quite a variation of coastlines too. You can thank my wife for these pictures. By the way, there's Linda right there. I brought her along in case any of you want a wife's perspective on this thing, a non-pilot perspective. And there's, they got grasslands. The valley flying is wonderful. This is a spot where they refer to this as a braided river. They got a lot of braided rivers, and they look like braided rivers should, I guess. And of course, mountains. That's a big draw in New Zealand. And by the way, I was up most of the night doing this stuff, so I hope you appreciate it. And you'll see these scenes this evening, and sounds, of course. And what else? Oh, Yeah, oh God, that was fun. I mean, I got to land and I got to operate out of Queenstown. So although that's not a big deal, international airport, because I mean, we're standing in one too, so come on. But a lot of local airports. There's Milford Sound. Beaches. This is the first time I ever landed on a beach. We did a beach landing and I enjoyed it so much. I said, can we go around? I took the by the way, I took the go around touch and goes out of the videos. They also have aerodromes. And the difference, the difference between an aerodrome and an airport, airports house a commercial function of some sort. These are true GA airports. And this, I don't know quite how to say it, but this is a really cool place. Alan Snowley would love this joint. He's got to go here. And it's a suburb of Dunedin, down in the eastmost corner of the South Island. And it's a historic aero club for New Zealand. It also housed training during World War II for the New Zealand Air Force, excuse me. Mandeville, that was a fun place. This is just one of many grass strips and paddocks that we landed in. I think what's going on is I think you got to pay a landing fee in a lot of places. This is just my guess. I never asked Matt. But you don't pay landing fees in somebody's farm field or a grass strip. And it houses a nice little museum. And I had bad weather, or I was going to get a training flight in this Tiger Moth from Ben. One thing I noticed about the New Zealanders, their accent, like Aussies, the first letter or two of every word is erased. Aerodrome would be aerodrome. Forget the A, just go for the E sound. Emphasize that. But this guy was literally doing his check ride in the Tiger Moth with its owner, Ben. We also, a lot of paddocks. These are just farm fields. It's like, we'd call it a field, somebody's farm field. Down there, it's paddocks, right? This is my favorite one. I'll show you. Okay, this thing here is uphill. It goes, the first half is uphill, then it kind of levels off right there. And I don't know if I put a picture in here or not, but let me see. Yeah, there we go. That's my favorite. That's my paddock there that I really liked. You got to, when we did flyovers or flybys for all these strips before we landed in them, for obvious reasons. This is a real obvious reason because sometimes the gate might be closed. Literally, there's this gate in between. Now this guy's paddock here is actually also it functions for a farm function. They have a building there at the middle of it that they put fertilizer in. And these guys use airplanes to fertilize their fields. It's basically sheep herding down there, and cattle, at least. Okay, I should geolocate us, right? We're in this. I did all my flying out of a town called Wanaka, which is in the middle of the South Island. It's not very far to get. You can hop in that plane and get to the coast in less than 30 minutes. If you beeline, maybe an hour and a half to the north and south. So you can zoom around all over up to the North Island if you so desire, I suppose. But oh yeah, Dingleburn, come on. Oh, it's in Dingles. What the heck? Man, that's smart. And AI made this slide for me last night. Cool. But here's my my paddocks and airports that I landed on. Some of them more times than others. And here's the outfit that we used. I don't get any commission or anything. I just really enjoyed working with these people. And It's called FlyInn Tours, and they're based in Wanaka. Well, it just says that, doesn't it? Okay, so we fly mainly, home base is the Wanaka Airport. And the owner, operator of this tour, his farm, his farm, his sheep farm, I call it sheep ranch, is in Geordie Hill. It's Geordie Hill Paddock. He's third generation on that land, sheep farmer. His great-great-grandfather, I guess, immigrated during a gold rush. But his little airstrip is right in here. And you fly in and out of that from time to time during one stay there. And this is Matt's station. And you don't have to, yeah, this is Wanaka. It's more developed. Now Wanaka is where we had our accommodations. Well, I'll get to that later, but he has basically two 172s. They got 180 horsepower engines, which, that's a sweet engine. I'm jealous. I wished I had that in my Cardinal. Basic VFR. I got a chuckle out of him. It's in one of the videos if we happen to get to it. We might not, but he said he has a lot of customers who ask him, well, what about your airplane? Well, heck, I sent him an email, tell me about your panel. And he goes, do you have a glass panel? And he's fond of telling them, yeah, I do. It's called a windscreen. Yeah, the beauty of it is it never needs a software update. And if it does get cloudy, if you do lose sight of it, then that's the weather you need to be on the ground anyway. You shouldn't be flying. So it's strictly VFR here for Matt's. And this is Wanaka. Well, both scenes are Wanaka. And it's really, the setting and the feel of the town reminds me a heck of a lot of Lake Chelan here in Washington. It's really just it's a summer tourist place, as well as they have skiing in the wintertime. But that's just, I suppose, Lake Chelan. But, so now I wanted to make sure. Now, Alan, did you bring your spouse?
No.
Darn, this is all for her. So this is, all right, so we had no idea what it was going to be like when we got there, and Linda was not keen on the idea of going to New Zealand, focusing the trip on flying. And frankly, I guess I digressed, as I often do. I built this trip around the flying. I said, oh, this is kind of a life event. I want to do this. And then we just had discussions. Okay, so how long you want to stay? What's a long darn way to go? So let's add on in the front end, the back end. So we ended up there for 2 months.
Wow.
And so these guys, they have standard, the 8-day tour, 8-day flying charter, 11, 14, and 21. 21, that's way too much, I think. But time and money. It's not inexpensive, in spite of the fact that the dollar is really strong now. But when we were planning the trip, and she was thinking about, okay, going to, I'm going to sit in the back of an airplane for a week. That's not going to be fun. Where am I going to stay? And this and that. And both of us were just thrilled when we arrived there and had this it's really kind of a luxury situation. And they give you a loaner car. You can walk downtown, which we often did because I didn't want to get caught after drinking a few glasses of wine. You just walk into town. And okay, now we're finally getting to Matt. Those are the co-owners, Matt and his wife, Jo. And I think you've already heard a little bit. And what you're going to hear tonight is a lot of his whoops, that one. There we go. A lot of his comments is picked up. What I did is I stuck a GoPro up on the windscreen on the left seat. Turned that thing on when we started, and it was hooked into the intercom. So we got pretty much everything recorded, for good or bad. And that's why I edited this and not Tom over there. He offered. But this guy's, you got to admit, it's a bit of machinery in there. It is. Something to be proud of. His sheep farm is 5,500 acres. It's a little place, and we're going some of these little these paddocks we landed on. We're flying away. 10 minutes later up the river valley from where we landed, and he goes, "Yeah, well, this where we just landed. Yeah, this is Tom's old. This is still Tom's farm here." And it's still their leases are huge on the land there, but across the 7 days, this is generally where we populated our flights. And Wanaka should be there. It is right there. Queenstown is down here. Guess I could point with this thing. There's Queenstown, and then Wanaka's Wanaka's about 25, 30 minute flight in a 172 north of Queenstown. And Geordie Hill Station is right over here, about 20 minutes southeast of Wanaka. And so Alan, Dunedin's here, and that's and it is, like you said, it's kind of like the Edinburgh of the South. It has that ambiance, that environment. Okay, so all right, so time to go flying. All right, so we got to get a video. Now let's see. Let's go. I've got way too much, and I'm thinking, what I might do is if we have a low spot in the fall, I can show some of these next fall. Do you
want to start with Milford?
Yeah, Milford's pretty interesting. I think, what the hell, because the other one is 4 videos, and Milford, they're both about a half hour worth of stuff. I want to watch. Oh, by the way, I've never actually watched any of these all the way through. I just clicked and it seemed to work. So I'm thrilled too. I even put music to it a little bit, I guess.
Where was Christchurch on that map? That wasn't north of where you...
North, east a bit.
Yeah.
Next to the runway is supposed to be a NASA.
It is, yeah.
Launch balloon launch thing. Oh, there's a link. Okay.
There we are. That's a good hitting.
That's Matt. He and I flew together.
Yes, it is. That's a launch pad for their super fishermen.
Have you ever seen one go up?
Yeah, they launch it here every year, every second year.
Huh.
It's a pain because it shuts the airport when they're doing it. But it is quite impressive when they get it going. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks like the most enormous condom in the air. And it goes up to 100 and something thousand feet. It goes right around the world.
Huh.
It's sort of right on the edge of space. And they fill it up with helium. And last time they did it was not very long ago, and it was a big trouble because they couldn't find enough helium.
Oh, that's right. There was a shortage.
Because it's made in Russia, and they don't want to buy it off the Russians anymore. Most of the world's helium is made in Russia.
And we're flying up past Wanaka here. Gives you an idea. It's an ugly place to be. And we get this 172 with 180 horsepower motor. It hits incredible speeds. It's almost like a jet when it gets going, as you can observe that. And you'll be grateful to the speed that this thing can go.
Like we could reach out and just touch that.
Yeah, look,
and I know it's not true, but it feels that way.
You've got figured out this contour finder. Just follow the hill now.
Yeah.
Keep the same distance, and you can start climbing again.
Wow.
Ride looks pretty smooth in there with the cumulus around.
Yeah. Oh gosh, we had all but 2 days were just phenomenal weather. It was just amazing. Yeah, this was the last week of February, 1st of March.
It does look like a little Matterhorn.
It's like,
Yeah, even more from the other side. When you look back at it from the other side.
It's interesting, similar territory to yesterday, but the light is so different.
Yeah.
It's bouncing off the clouds. Wow.
she's
You
still,
can see Mount Cook up there off our Winston.
Ah,
it's like she's sitting right behind me.
Hey, Dave? You got a question here.
Sure.
What was the price of land fuel?
I don't know. I never had to buy. Well, I guess I was buying lots of it. Yeah, car gas was equivalent to what you'd pay in BC.
A big glacier in here.
I was surprised. It wasn't too bad.
And that's leading out of the line.
Did you get much turbulence?
No. I mean, look at it was just that fluffy cumulus.
That's right up in here, and actually didn't have the plane for that. If we roll around and roll the other way, you'll see,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
one end of it, and then
You're right.
here's the rest of it will be out your window now.
Alpha Papa Romeo is off to the northeast of Curry Peak. Flight 2 climbing.
And look at this waterfall over here off the bottom
Oh,
of the tunnel.
jeez. I think Linda spotted
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Okay, this guy's been flying here for decades, and that's the pilot in the other aircraft, the other 172.
Yeah, big say is Volta 85 for solid rock.
Are you a flight
But-
of two at this point? Dave?
Pardon?
A flight of two?
Yeah, well, not really. Yeah, now and then, we kept our distance.
Okay.
You don't have to. Right up front, he said, "Hey, you don't want to go. You want to go off on your own. That's fine. No, but not a problem." But they were a nice couple, so we had enjoyed
their
their.
climbers walk up the top.
I'm kind of in
helicopter's operating somewhere on there. You might spot them. But you also this time in the morning you might see some climbers heading out.
Yeah, I suspect.
What altitude?
Pretty hard to spot.
Well, that mountain's little over 9,000. This is probably like 8,000 feet, 8,500. We got up to about 11, I think 11.6. We were scraping at 12 around Mount. On some of the other videos, another trip we went up around Mount Cook and the Tasman Glacier and Fox Glacier and down this gorgeous valley. Hope we get to it tonight. It's stunning.
How long
Now-
did you fly every day?
Well, these 2 days that I recorded, I brought in tonight, were 3 and 3.6 hours. I did 15. Let's see, I logged 15 hours of tack time.
Your airplane goes.
What direction?
Over to the next big bit of ice. Just keep coming around a little bit.
Yeah.
The nice thing, yeah,
Up over here.
Yeah, level your wings about there.
Good step down, 7,100 feet, climbing for impossible and first floor.
That's the way.
listen to some of the radio chatter. I mean, it was about 60% of what I could understand was on the radio. That was the best I could do between their accents and.
Shape.
Yeah. And you get over
to talk to
here, a few
ATC
more miles,
radio?
No, the only time we would have actually had to was around Queenstown and Dunedin, but we just do what we do around here with Seattle, underneath their floor or scoot around. I picked up a bit of information, one of the conversations about radio frequencies, and they basically have 2 radio frequencies for pilot to pilot, and they do. They got ADS-B like we do. It's literally coming down and getting more broadly applied. But they basically, I think it was 119.1 for most of the South Island for interplane stuff, and then up on when you get up kind of north of Mount Cook area, it changes. But I tell you, it was pretty quiet on the radio until Mount Cook area. And they have some of these like Milford Sound, Mount Cook. They've got specialized frequencies there, and Mount Cook that day was gorgeous. It was.
What altitude do you want?
We're going down to sea level. We're going to land on a beach, aren't we?
Yeah, but
Let's keep this evening.
okay.
You don't believe me because any beaches around here? No, it doesn't look like it, does it?
There don't look like any beaches around, and stunningly, it's pretty damn close. But what was I going?
Where do you want me to go over here? This first saddle or down? Closer over this
I
side.
don't have pause. They don't have, okay. They got passes and saddles. And the difference between a pass and a saddle is, at least from Matt's perspective, is passes have a person's name associated with them. All the other, what we'd call passes, are saddles. And yeah. So that was, and like I said, instead of fields, it's paddocks. A lot of fun stuff, okay. Oh, it's just, this is just stunning morning. You're going to see the beach show up right up here. That's probably 15, 20 minutes.
But we'll just make
Another run.
we'll make another run, yeah.
Okay.
So, for aeroplane.
All right.
And just maintain your 700 feet at the moment.
Okay.
And
Oh,
carry on round to the left.
Oh, I guess I'm coming, okay. We flew over, yeah.
How much of this are you hand flying, Dick?
I'd say, other than right around Mount Aspiring and Mount Cook and coming down out of there, I was flying. Yeah. I mean, and there were a couple of times when I said, here, I want to take pictures, I want to look, take over. And he did. And it was really a joy, one, to have someone who spoke the language and understand the place names, which is critical when you're announcing where you are and where you're trying to place other aircraft around. Oh, quick.
Looks like a
Just
shot of
feed it
hopeless
trickle
beach.
of power, a little bit of power, a little bit.
Oh, I see your tracks, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of gravel on it, righto, full power.
That was cool.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I go back to 10 degrees of flat now.
Go ahead.
I remember when a few weeks before I went down there, I got a hold of Mark Young and we went out and did some currency training on flying the mountains and so forth. And he said, yeah, we got to do, and we just practiced going down the runway here at Bellingham, about 20 feet off the ground, and which is critical because pretty much every place except Queenstown and Wanaka, Dunedin, we landed there, without, but all the paddocks and grass strips, you're doing a flyover, checking them out.
We don't be too much in that
Oh,
line there.
boy, she's right where I was going to go.
Yeah, that other plane pulled over and parked.
Down to her right.
Just to her right, yeah. Just keep it going a little bit, keep it going.
I didn't realize what water he wanted me to.
They've got to get past.
I thought just this one. He wanted me to get past this water too. Hell, I didn't know. But
The other land is straight ahead.
Yeah.
and the gravel, geez, it was
Let me just.
it was pretty good size. It was as big as ping pong balls.
Yeah, they're all right.
And I was just really glad it wasn't my airplane. and generally, like here, I said, I just, hey, you.
Sorry, I just had to.
He'll take over and make sure I don't. I felt really comfortable. Hey, I don't want to hurt your airplane, so. And I did that one day when we were coming into his paddock, Geordie Hill. The winds and the crosswinds were so wicked and changed so much. I go, hey, I don't want to hurt your airplane, So as we were turning base, I said, here, you take it.
And they're large rocks.
And they are.
They're pretty big. I was expecting a little smaller, softer.
Yeah, a lot of the time you get a lot nicer, smoother bit of sand.
And I can understand about
Big
night.
storm here, which has thrown a lot of gravel up on the beach.
But it's really critical, I think. You'd got to, particularly like Cook, you'd have to be insane to try to fly up there on your own without a local pilot. I mean, you should be committed if you tried that. Yeah.
Did you do a lot of fly-in, like community gets together? Did they put that in your schedule at all, or no?
No.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. Go ahead and grab number 2. So this is launching. We hung around until the bugs drove us out, which wasn't too terribly long. It was a buggy day.
It looks pretty good. If you just roll around onto that set of wheel marks that we taxied on,
It stopped, okay? Or how we
and
keep
just
going?
keep going, yeah.
Yeah.
Right in here.
A little bit further
Yeah.
down. Yeah, a little bit further.
A lot of the place name, it's like
Wheel marks there.
Quebec, where you've got half French and everything's got to be in Maori and English.
Perfect. With careful, should I roll into them?
And a lot of the place names that they're published, as well as what you hear on the radio, are that Maori language. And it's like it's a Polynesian language, so it's like speaking Hawaiian, I guess, and
How's that?
it's difficult.
Okay.
I did get rid of the touch and goes here because, you only get it. See, Tom, I did a transition. See that?
I'll tell you.
I tell you.
Your editing is very impressive for a guy that had never used shotcut before.
Yes.
Excellent.
By the way, I cheated a lot. It's amazing. Copilot, Microsoft AI. You just type in, so how do I do a transition, in shot, and boom, it's telling you. And then, well, that didn't quite work. Oh, and they problem solve with you. It's amazing.
Court judge from England
Oh.
flies with us. And his wife was at home in England. And they had a little farm. And in England, if you have a cow dies,
Okay.
you've got to call a special place to take it away, and it's all to do with the Ministry of Agriculture and everything, and there's a whole lot of rules. And his wife phoned up and said a cow had died in the back paddock. And this High Court judge guy said to his wife, well, quick, get Fred with the digger to bury it before anybody sees it. He was not having to do anything to do with all those rules and nonsense. About Ministry of Agriculture and everything.
Yeah, who knows how long it takes for them to get out and do their thing with the dead cow.
Yeah.
Reminiscent of our coast, in places.
In Hawaii,
He was
Yeah.
buried straight away.
it's like flying around Maui.
Mm-hmm.
Except the weather was nicer on that.
Yeah. Except I didn't see any marine sanctuary areas designated. So we were about 400 feet, 500, 700 feet in here. And there's some spots out in our coastline. You're supposed to be at least 1,000 or 2.
See, those commercial guys,
Oh, it's interesting.
and they can't come around this way, it's not legal, because they've got to have 1,000 feet. That's 500 for private,
Yeah.
and 1,000
Oh,
for
for commercial?
Yeah. So we can often go places they can't.
Hang on.
And we can go
There we
over the top of Broken Cloud, and they're not allowed to. Oh, that's a real pain for them actually coming
Oh,
over
it would
here.
be, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Dave, did you say you tried to get FlyInn map, but they didn't?
Yeah, oh, no, they didn't yet. But FlyInn is going to offer the New Zealand area soon.
Did you have something compatible?
I did not. I didn't have
That's called St. Anne's,
anything.
where that little marker post is.
The other pilot found a free trial of a local app.
About our 11 o'clock.
And so he had his iPad. I did not. Matt had his iPad.
Milford's up this way to the left.
There's
Matter of 10 o'clock.
cold sunshine up in there.
Where? I don't know, but somewhere in there.
Down a little bit.
Yep.
Did you
Just
see
briefly.
Miter Peak in Milford?
What?
Miter Peak, do you go by Miter Peak?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Landmass out of the ocean.
So I want to go over here and
Oh.
along the right-hand side.
He can let me know.
Right on the right-hand side.
It rises right out of the water, just a single peak that goes up to almost 6,000 feet. Okay, it's good.
See, I did that transition too there, huh? By the way, Tom has a really good link on his own website on how to do this filming in your airplane and doing the editing. It's a real good research. I mean,
Once we get here to the patch of sunshine,
I really relied on it, guys. If you want to play with a GoPro in an airplane,
Which is the
hit him up for some advice.
pattern altitude.
Well, pattern's supposed to be 1,000 foot up there. I learned that, okay, when you,
Charlie Zero to Sail Point, descending through 3,500 feet. Out shortly, and can we get a wind report? Most of the wind is calm.
calm.
And anticipating 1-1.
So you've got tourist planes coming in from either way on this sound, from the east or the west.
He's just above us, that guy.
Oh, it was fun. I think the wingtip on his plane had some scrapes on it, not from my flying, somebody else's flying. But he just kept, he'd
Oh, you're
say,
setting up the
Go.
photo up perfectly, Dave.
move over, hug it.
He's above us, behind us now.
Yeah, there's a
Melbourne Flight Service, Whiskey Alpha X-ray. Whiskey Alpha X-ray, Melbourne 2. Yeah, we're just inside and then passing Dale Point this time at 600. 172, 3 POV inbound and copy 1 Charlie Zulu, I think they just behind us. Whiskey Alpha X-ray, Roger, runway 11, Whatcom QNH 101 set. Transit airbound at across Dale Point out shortly, and I think they'll be behind you, and to airbound climbing up to vacate.
if you'd hit pause for a sec.
Covered all this traffic.
Can you hit pause? Yeah, there's a flight service station, so to speak, on the Milford Airport. It's not a tower. It's built like a tower there, but it doesn't act like a tower. It only gives a traffic advisories, basically. And so it's literally a very limited function in that regard.
Do you know what resolution the camera was? Was it?
A new GoPro 10 or 11, something like 11. Oh, I did whatever Tom suggested.
I think you
What is it?
1080. Yeah.
And what editing program did you use last night?
Shotcut.
Shotcut.
Yeah, one word,
Free
shotcut.
download.
It is.
It's very intuitive, actually.
You can, and there's a lot, although there's a lot of little hidden stuff like any smartphone, what the hell, why would I push these dots for some reason, I'm sorry, go
I
on.
ruined a few good videos by doing that.
Yeah, by the way, I learned, make copies all the time as you're going.
Traffic inside, we're currently standing point 2,900.
This was just stunningly beautiful and wonderful weather that morning.
Yeah, it's pretty restricted down there. You want to keep that engine going.
Yeah, no shit.
Is that this year?
Pardon?
Is that this year?
Yeah, that was just last month, February. That would have been last couple of days of February.
Where is that camera? Is that out on the strut?
No, just right, like where your iPad would go. It's good. I use my RAM mount with the suction cup on the inside.
Looks good.
Yeah, one of the videos it falls off so you can see it. But,
So is that a GoPro camera or what?
yeah. And they were landing both ways that morning. Yeah, go in. They have a circular that you're advised to read, and I was reading it the night before. I'm going, oh man, this is like they're just trying to dissuade me from flying in there. Just kind of, you're going to die. Don't come here. So this was just so freaking easy.
Dave, I noticed most of the flights are down the right side of the
Yes.
valley. Is that a custom?
Yes, yeah. And that's one of the things I made sure I recorded and put on the video about the traffic patterns for flying. And
We don't have to deal inside.
it's the same as what you're doing here in the mountains and valleys, basically.
Continue your descent, or just,
That's a descent. Descent.
Number 2, FlyInn. Charlie 2.
And it's kind of hard to see. We've got so much light here, but it's right in here.
And you can take 10 degrees.
There it is.
That means that the flying convention being the right.
Continue to fly.
Exactly. Yep. That was a head scratcher.
Yeah, fine. Charlie Lima. Oh, yeah, she might be in front of my Charlie Lima. It's just through Gulliver, 39500 and heading towards the mouth.
And that pattern is described in the circular, that the advisory that I mentioned you'd read before you go in there.
Got that figured out, then fly closer to the hill.
What was the strongest wind?
So yeah,
that you ever saw?
The what?
Yeah.
The strongest wind?
Right, just straight ahead.
Horrible. Fortunately, it was in Wellington, where Wellington's the windiest city in New Zealand, but I'd say 30 knots.
Land on this end of the runway.
That was it was blowing good 30 plus knots when.
It's calm here.
No, yeah, this day.
400 feet.
Yeah,
It-
perfect there. It's easy.
Linda was.
I'll give you a bit more flat there.
But don't need a whole lot more. I think we're fine there.
Continue your descent.
It's so gorgeous.
Oh, it is just remarkable.
Just get yourself nicely lined up on the centre line. That's nice.
There we go.
And landing in that little patch of sun there.
We're fine with the flaps. We don't need any
He
more.
kept wanting to add flaps, and it's a calm day. Come on, we're going 65 knots. He enjoyed full 180 horsepower upgrade. You're limited to 30 degrees of flaps on the 172, I guess. Yeah.
Roger, Whatcom County District
Look at this.
172 traffic just touching down runway 11, followed by airvan inside footstool, 3 flips wind heading towards the mouth to join.
Nice one.
Nice one.
Good job. We'll just go there.
Yeah, you've got another pattern that comes down this way from up there, and another pattern that comes off over this way, perpendicular, and then you got the one that we flew down. There are like 3 basic ways to get in there. And they were coming in all different directions that day, of course.
What's the name of this place?
That's Milford Sound.
Of the choice, the wind just light and variable, QH1017, and traffic hit is 3 flips between 2 caravans and an airvan.
Is that the rock? One of these?
I just go and block the taxiway behind.
Exactly, yeah.
Just shut the radios off for a
We never got to this.
Yeah, we'll get. And they do have cruise boats. You can take a cruise up the Sound, and I didn't put it on any of the videos because I X'd this out. But one of the things that Matt said, he tells visitors that come visit him, the way to go to Milford Sound is you take a. Let me see. You take the bus out from Queenstown. It takes about 6 hours to get over there, I guess. You leave early in the morning. You get there around lunchtime, I guess. And then you have your sack lunch. You get on the little tour boat for a couple hours, and then you fly back to Queenstown. He says, and you're back by supper time that way. Otherwise, it's just a hellacious drive. So go ahead and go to that next one. This is that? Yeah. Okay. That's peppy music.
What was the field elevation there about?
I'd say about 3 feet.
Okay, so you're right at sea level.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, in the beach, of course, it varies. time of day.
That's all very beautiful, Milford. Yeah, I got 2 on Boulevard left mouth, all thanks.
A little sunnier by the time we left.
That's all very beautiful, measure wind 300 degrees 5 knots, QNH1015. Traffic to 172, just seaborne runway 29, climbing out to vacated southwest.
QNH is the barometric setting in millibars.
Southwest. Copy on. Very beautiful.
Took me a while to get an ear for that too.
Whiskey
Do they have like airs?
Not there. Oh, that was what that flight service guy was reading out.
The winds and stuff are doing?
Yeah. That's, you know, yeah, the airports would have it, not the paddocks and strips. It really is it is even a little more stunning, I mean, just as incredible. The music doesn't play like that when you're there, though.
You see those avalanches on the side of the mountains? There's something unique at Milford Sound. They call them trevalanches instead of avalanches because there's so little substrate on the rock. When it starts at the top, the trees take out everything, so they call it a trevalanche.
Trevalanche because of the trees.
Trevalanche, it's unique to these sounds.
So we're flying up. This is going east from the airport. And the other flight, they came down this way. They'd gone inland and came back. And we went up the coast because I'm used to flying under low overcast on the coast, I guess. And, oh man, this is, there's going to be a moment that where I turn the plane over to, I said, yeah, Matt, you want to do this, knock yourself out. And he's done it.
So this is the Milford track right below us if you look down.
You'll see what I'm talking about soon.
That's the McKinnon Pass where the track walkers come over. That's all. Wow. There's a cloud there. And then right below us, just up here a little bit, you'll see Quinton Hut.
Like that's meaningful to me, you know, whatever. Quentin has a hut there, cool. But just I put it in there in case it was meaningful for any of you guys that are hikers or trekkers. Like.
Now just pull your car peak on here.
You're gonna see this up close pretty soon.
Pull your power back to 1500. Slow down to 65 knots and take 20 degrees of flat.
I'm just gonna.
That's just a breath.
This was fun.
No instrument approaches, I don't suppose, I know that.
No.
No. Just the scene's a little bit too covered below that cloud.
Down over here.
Yeah, just turn right, pull the power back a bit so we go down a bit.
With the X-ray just coming up, some of the floors there, 200. Are you still up to the high side?
What you're seeing at the top of the waterfall is Fox.
Yeah, we're at about 4,000 feet.
Another lake up there.
Yeah, so that waterfall must be 3,000 foot, you know, when you think about it. It just, these mountains are just terribly vertical. Wonderfully vertical, I should say.
Yeah.
This was fun.
Clean enough to drink, is it?
Oh, here? Yeah, I would, yeah.
Yeah, that's enough. Keep this level. And now if we make this turn, you'll get a nice view at the falls.
Oh, wow, I guess.
Now this is good instruction.
Keep going and then,
So we're gonna,
now see how, when you think there's a whole lot of threatening terrain and
Yeah.
cloud and everything, when you slow down, you've actually got a lot more room and lots of time. There's no big hurry about any of this, is there?
wow. No, I'm surprised.
I was.
And so you roll a little bit right, and then when we come back round left, you'll get a really good view of the falls. Look at that mountain up there, that's cool.
Yeah, oh, wow.
Yeah, and now roll to the left again.
Take a right here, back to 6.
There we go. And have a look at the falls this time round. Means of horizon across the mountain.
Yeah, that's important.
Wow.
Which I did not adhere to.
Waterfall.
Your airplane.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think I'd just given him the, yeah, you take the airplane. I pulled out, yeah, I just wanted to look.
Yeah.
Because I'd flown this part before already, so I wanted to see it.
That's amazing.
It's those mountains go from sea level to 11,000 feet roughly, right?
Pretty much within, I mean, we're at 4,000 here, and we're just right at the coast. But that was just stunning. The vertical drop, drops you have there. It reminded me a bit of, quite a bit of Switzerland. Switzerland has the Alps that just jut right out of those the high grassy fields.
Yeah.
Okay, listen to this.
I flew out of Christchurch. We didn't do any of this mountain stuff.
Yeah, he volunteered. And I said, yeah, you want to knock yourself out. That is, but in retrospect, I would have, if I go back, I'll do that flying myself next time, because by the time I got done, I got comfortable with this.
Oh, you've got to know the country.
Yes, oh, absolutely.
Every valley and crease and saddle and the weather.
He'll give you some good information there.
Look how thick it is actually. You think it's all small in the end. There's a hell of a lot more room in the air than what you realise. But you've got to be slowed down. You don't want to go roaring in the air at 120 knots.
No, okay.
But if you're slowed down,
We were slow flight, maybe 60 knots, 65-ish.
Oh, wow.
And there's our entry point there.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're really playing with the weather there. That's,
oh, God, yeah.
That's tight.
Yeah, it is. But we were too close for, legally, I think.
Yeah, not for me.
Flying through 4,000 feet next week.
Now, where's the other airplane when you're doing all this?
I don't know. She was up. They were up. They were heading up the valley by.
Okay.
Yeah, we were doing these little side excursions, and they'd ditch us.
your plane, just carry on flying up the right-hand side here.
The fella.
Those peaks over there are pretty cool with that bit of cloud hanging around them, aren't they?
They are. But the other pilot had all of about 100 hours.
Just dodge under this bit of cloud.
And I've got 800. And I mean, he did his first biennial check ride with this outfit while he was visiting down there. So he had been flying for just under 2 years. And as I said, I mean, you could, if you didn't have a license, you could, but you wanted to have hankering to fly, you could go do it. Not this, but you know what I'm saying.
Here we are, we're in southern Georgia.
Go ahead and hit that next video, if you would, please.
So did he give you a check out for mountain flying?
Yeah, I did. No, he did. Here's the thing. I could have picked up. They've got this 6-month certificates you can get down there. She got a real one. Maureen did, but they've got this sort of temporary 6-month thing. And but I don't have the right medical. I got a basic med, so I couldn't get it anyway. But I gave me a log entry for 5 hours of mountain flying instruction, and that's about right. But you can get a some certifications from these guys.
You
Yeah.
get any updraft or downdraft from the mountains?
Well, oh yeah, sure, but it doesn't. Yeah, we had some whoopsie-doos, but not this day. It was just fabulous weather that particular day.
Lose a bit of airspeed if it gets bumpy.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there's a nice
Formidable
nice opening over there into the east.
In contrast, the other, well, by the latter half of this day, we're flying across pasture land. I mean, you can fly across this spine of.
You've probably figured out this mountain flying now, aren't you?
Oh, no. Oh, far from that.
No, you're doing good.
There's a big difference yesterday and today. Yeah.
But you got this the range is on the west side of the island. It runs north and south, and it's just a spine. It's about I'd say about a third of that western part of the island. Maybe like I don't know. I'm guessing 100 miles deep is all.
Was named by Captain
Oh,
Cook
that's good.
because he was doubtful that it was safe place to take a ship.
Oh.
And you'll see when we pass the end here, it's not under the cloud. There's a whole lot of reefs in the mouth of Doubtful Sound, and Captain Cook must have seen all those reefs from sea and decided it wasn't safe to go in there. I guess he was a long way from home. He didn't want to lose his ship, did he?
No.
Long walk home.
Yeah,
So, up this way?
Yeah, just out to the water there and along the right-hand side of the water.
See, we had
Yeah,
had a lot of technical, directions flying with Matt. He was pretty easy going, but
How much time did Matt have?
I didn't. He said, I just don't want. I asked him how many years he's been flying. He goes, I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to feel old.
Like he was a teenager?
No, he's probably my age. He's in his around 60, I guess.
He looked young.
Yeah, I'm thinking late 50s, early 60s. Yeah, his kids, his children are my children's age, so
Now, see, a place like here,
age peers.
I know what's on the other side, but
Listen to this.
you don't. If you're coming here for the first time by yourself,
Yes.
you might go over that side
So you can see down?
so that you can see a bit through it before you commit to it. So try that. See if you can go over that side and get yourself so you can see through it before you're actually committed to going through it. Because if you get right over here, you've still got time to turn around and room to turn around. That's what all this.
Right here is Penn Station, 2,700.
That's what all this mountain flying about is kind of.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Keeping your options open and always having a plan
What's the
B.
marks on the hillside?
Interesting to see.
Oh, there's little rock slides.
There's clouds coming
Oh,
in.
it's going to be rough, absolutely.
No, it wasn't.
Just pull the power back a bit and slow down a bit then if you think it's going to be rough.
Yeah, when you're in turbulence,
When you go
you slow down.
at 100 knots,
And
it's a hell of a lot smoother than at 110 knots.
this was not very wide here. You could,
I think it's going to be turbulent. Always,
Back at your power?
always a good idea to bring the power back, raise the nose a bit, get rid of a little bit of speed, and all of a sudden it's a lot smoother.
true, right?
And it's actually not that turbulent, is it?
No, I was expecting more. Well, all the way, we haven't gotten through it yet, though, either, have we?
They're doing all right.
Yeah. Like doing.
See, now you're committed.
Yeah.
You can't turn around now.
No.
Not easily. You could just in here. If you put the flap down, you could turn around in here.
In this little spot
Yeah,
here,
There's
right?
you could.
But part of the thing he kept driving in home to with me was, the mountain flying's all about keeping options. You always leave yourself an option. Scouting your passes without committing. Just go like I did with the lake. He was teaching me, I want you to fly along, treat this like a pass. You come around, you scope it out, and you don't ever just fly right in first time. And
To make those movies in New Zealand.
Yeah. Everywhere you look, there's another spot to film.
the mental horizon concept, because there isn't any actual horizon. That's,
The English, they love their drinking.
oh, here we go. Later in the day.
They love their pubs and their drinking.
So this is about a half hour later.
Well, don't you?
Good story.
Oh, yeah, but I don't think, I think the English have got it over us.
Yeah, they got the volume.
I took this English couple, they would have been about their mid-40s, I suppose. And they're a really nice couple, but they're so English. And they were both pilots.
Okay.
And I took them right round the North Isle. And every morning, they'd toss a coin to see who flew the first leg.
Oh, no. I know where you're going.
And they both wanted to fly the first leg, because whoever wasn't flying the afternoon
Could have a drink.
a couple of pints at lunchtime, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, God, they were home cases.
Oh, that is so...
And then when we landed somewhere at night, of course, it was mayhem in the pub. I don't know how we managed to get to the aeroplane the next morning half the time. Very English.
Very.
Very English.
I love flying with local instructors. They're as good of a tour guide as they are an instructor. It's just it's a wonderful experience. We've done a lot of that when we're on vacations. We just go to a local FBO and do an hour flight with a CFI. they're not going to check it out. You're not going to rent an airplane unless you show them that you're competent to fly it, right? So you always have a little check ride with you before they rent. So you just turn that into a fun excursion for yourself. And these CFIs always have great stories.
Where is this, Dave?
Huh?
Where is this?
Manipuri, which is next to. Yeah. I cut out that lake because it's huge lake. It took us a half hour to fly down it. I like the way they say, we're leaving here, we're vacating this compass direction, we're vacating too. But like I said, this was the same morning, or same day, I should say. And then by the time we get up to Wanaka, the lushness of the foliage dissipates because they're kind of in a drought, I guess. But here we go. Look at the change in terrain.
Don't go too high with in Queenstown's.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's 4,000. The floor of that.
Yeah, Queenstown is just right up over there.
All these sweet hands.
I cut out the comments about Shania Twain's house that we flew over and how her ex-husband got the house. Oh, listen to this.
Sierra Lima Alpha Tower.
Sierra Lima Alpha, if I can tune you.
Sierra Lima, how do you read?
Oh, I do now, I just heard my mic, but that might have been breathtaking, so I might have to call, I might please turn them up.
Yeah, so I've been trying to call you ever since pretty much you got to Togo, and we did have to close Jardines there. Could have been a message.
I'm having some issues with my
Headset this time, Mike first.
Romeo, everyone out of Old Town, South Daniel Fair.
Oh, it's poor old Tomo.
You know him?
He's one of the old Tomos.
Happens all over the world, guys. That's why I had to throw this in there. Okay, cool.
He's one of the old timers.
Do you use a speaker in the cockpit?
No, we had headsets.
And a headset for the GoPro.
The GoPro I have a connector that I got from some outfit.
Thank you.
Now this is Shania Twain's house we just flew over. And then we're coming around, this is coming around to Wanaka for the day. And this was all about 3 hours of flying, I suppose. And we stopped at Milford Sound and did a little hiking around there. And Manipuri, I had a sack, we had some lunch. We landed in Manipuri because the weather came down on us. And so like you would around here.
They do a nice job of breaking up the day. There are little stops and local things that you see, and somebody everywhere comes, picks you up and takes you to this little museum or a little. So for the non-pilot passenger, they break it up with a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, we had one day the middle of the day we flew up to a place in one of the rivers and did a jet boat ride, and we did an overnight down in Dunedin, and Matt took us to a restaurant that he obviously frequents. It was literally on the other side of the tracks in a warehouse district, a dilapidated area, and you couldn't even tell there was a restaurant there until you got in, and it was just mobbed with locals. And it was the best. It was really the only good seafood we had in New Zealand. Wonderful food. So they also, you're paying a lot to do this. This ain't cheap, folks.
Like how much?
8 acres that you took?
Yeah, it's about, I think it penciled out at about $2,000 a day. But okay. I'm saying, but that's flying every day, or you're doing overnights. They're giving you this. Everything's tossed in. The car. the place. They feed, when you're on the road, they feed you. You know, so.
Do you tip them?
No.
No tip them?
No, they don't. That's really cool.
Nice.
That is really cool about New Zealand. You just, I embarrassed the heck out of a server early in my trip because she was a young woman. I'd say 90% of the servers we encountered in the 2 months were not Kiwis. They were young people we only had one American. Generally it was a Commonwealth country. The Commonwealth countries, they've got some pretty easy visa requirements, and they literally have a work vacation visa for young people who are willing to work in the service industry. So I'd say 9 out of 10 people we met, in hospitality, hotels, restaurants, bars, were from some other country who were just there for a year, just to enjoy moving around a bit, going from job to job. Worst service we had was the only American, some kid from Idaho. But
like port
huh?
in your BYO bottle. Like when we were there in '91, they had beautiful port, these big casks. You just walk in and pour your own. They charge you by the.
Oh yeah, well, we did end up. We brought some port home for a friend. He paid me back though. Les is gone. Yeah. But he was looking for a particular kind of port. He said, when you're down there, you got to look for such and such and such and such, and came across it, and okay, so we hauled that stuff back. Let's go to the let me see,
yeah.
the commercial break.
Oh,
End of the PowerPoint. Yeah, where we left off in the PowerPoint. Can you find that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, right there. Okay, there we go. Here, I guess I can do this. It is time for a break, right? Here we go.
DC3.
That's a McDonald's. It actually is.
Wow.
I just had to show this guy this. And there were people that would, they'd bring their lunch up and you could sit at the table and eat. Yeah. Well, I brought some other videos. I don't know if you want to do that tonight or we can do it some other night next year or whatever. It's up to you folks. I've got probably another half hour worth of stuff around Mount Cook and so forth, but I don't know.
Can you post it?
Pardon?
Can you post it somewhere?
Beats the hell out of me. I don't. Yeah. Well, you might want to. Let's see. We could grab. Try what? Just do me. Grab this one right here. Yeah, that center one. It's peppier music too.
Yeah, when you're in grass, just taxi quite slowly because these are not airfields. They're just places where you can't land. And you never know when there's a bit of a hole or a dead sheep in the paddock or a farmer's left something in the paddock.
You're watching at this point.
What?
You're watching at this.
No, yeah, I'm flying. Yeah, I'm still flying.
No place in you. I'll show you another little trick too.
No, I'm doing this.
Which I stopped.
And stop parallel with the fence here, like this.
Yeah.
People.
And then just keep rolling.
Yeah, they teach you in flight school to have the brakes on and rev and all this. But if you just roll from here, you're already moving when you open the throttle.
And they teach that too.
What about 15?
Yeah, that'll do.
Chip might have done that. Teach that.
Yeah.
Hatches, harnesses.
Yeah.
Controls instrument.
Got the avionics on?
Yeah, so we're just going to turn onto the centre line and then pick a point away down there to keep straight on and open the throttle as you get around the corner.
Take a bit of traffic, let's get X-ray of rolling to the south and vacating.
He's got his mic button in the panel just above the yoke. He just pushes it up there. I go, that's pretty clever.
Pick a point on the mouth to keep straight.
Okay.
There you go.
That's Dingleburn.
Mind the paddock, Mike.
Yeah.
You see this nice little waterfall here?
Yeah.
That's where they make their hydroelectricity.
Hydroelectric.
Little building at the bottom of the waterfall
Oh, yeah.
with a power pole sticking out of it.
Uh-huh.
That's where all their
The generator is.
That's where all their electricity.
It was fun to, the pattern, we came in this way and came through and already did the paddock inspection, came back out, joined the downwind and landed. We went and visited the guy who runs Dingleburn. Dingleburn Station.
Right here.
This guy's got, there's like Matt, thousands of acres of sheep. Yeah, Matt, he specializes in merino wool sheep, and most of his wool is purchased by a couple of Italian high-end clothing manufacturers. It's like Gucci kind of stuff or whatever.
They've got all this river flat up here.
Oh.
From the river to the foot of the hill.
Yeah.
So they got cattle right up here.
Wow.
And the 172 doesn't go that fast,
Just head over to the side of the valley there a bit. We might even get a little bit of lift in there. See that? Getting a bit of extra lift.
What do you got, that wind coming from behind it? It's got to go up.
That's the way. Make use of it. See, there's that little saddle right on our nose.
Yeah.
That little low spot there, we're going to go across that saddle.
You want this one or over here? Under 1 o'clock?
Yeah, that was a bit confusing. There's passes all over.
Keep going straight ahead there.
Yep.
And then we get over that saddle and go right.
Okay.
Did the price of the tour include like all the lodging and meals?
Include the what?
Did the price of the tour include
So what we're going to
lodging
teach
and...
you.
Oh yeah, everything. Yeah. I mean, it's 100% covered.
No, it's mountain climbing, but a lot of the time you're operating
and there was a
below
boat
the
ride out
top
to
of the
look at the
terrain.
nature stuff, and
Yep.
we saw an
Yeah, it's called
albatross, that was all
valley
included. So really,
So one of the
pay for
first
a lot of
rule is
your
you've
meals.
always got to be on one side of the valley or the other.
Okay.
Never in the middle.
So she learned about mountain flying too.
Turn around.
Yeah, and the more smaller the valley is,
Yeah.
the more closer to the terrain that you fly. But it's not just for turning around, it's also because most valleys is a wind,
Yes.
and one side
Going
will
to be
be
favorable.
favourable, yeah, and the other. So that's the first thing, always the middle of the valley.
Okay.
And when we're crossing saddles like this, on a bit of an angle if you're low level, we're plenty high above this one, but look, we should be in level flight, never crossing saddles in a climb or a descent. When you cross a saddle, it's always in level flight. So there we are, that's the Landsborough River Valley opening up a bit there.
And he explained it by, if you're
Pull that back to about 25.
if you're climbing, you're not going to be able to see it very well, and if you're descending, your speed's going to be higher. So you want to be flying when you want to go across a pass. You want to go level, and you want to go at an angle. And you do an angle because, in large part, so
That's the frequency.
you have an option. When you get up there, if it ain't what you're expected, you can just continue your turn and get out.
This area is on 1191.
And most of you guys know it. Most folks know that. Oh, that was the frequency stuff he's talking. We're chatting about.
Traffic whiskey, I think they just out of the Hunter to the Landsborough 8400 checking section.
That's the name of the river that we're flying over. And so they would just take geographic places like that and call them, this is Langsboro traffic. You're not talking to anybody other than other pilots because you're on that pilot-to-pilot frequency.
And their wives won't even go to the airport,
Oh.
let alone get in the airplane.
Wow.
And so they want to come and do this trip, but their wives won't go along with it. So that's the end of it. So we've kind of learned that our customers are the ones whose wives will go along with it. Because all the guys want to come and do it. Yeah. So
We may not be pilots, but they got to be willing to go along and have a good time.
they got there's quite a few of them that won't. So the guys end up away off on some Caribbean cruise or something.
So this is Mount Cook.
It is up. Oh,
Camera fell off.
Unusual on it.
Wow.
all right. See, so here we go. There's Matt. There's the panel. And there goes the GoPro back up onto the wind. How many times you've been in the summertime, you're coming in to land somewhere, and you got your iPad stuck up on the windscreen, and poof, lands in your lap. I got up to 30 times speed, but I'm pretty sure there's a kind of tipping point. It won't go any faster then.
12 knot tailwind at the moment.
A little bit of tailwind, yeah. Or actually getting a wee bit of lift.
Depends on the frames per second.
Oh. Well, see, Microsoft AI didn't even tell me that. They just said it is something about the picture quality.
You gotta learn that one the
There's
hard
often a wee
way.
bit of on the top side of that. It's funny because the cloud's going down, but the air's
Oh.
going up. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I just know that it does because I've done it lots of times.
But this just is amazing terrain. This is just vertical slate. I mean, it just is a mountain of slate.
There's Mount Cook, the big flat top one.
Yeah.
And the one behind it's Mount Tasman.
There's Cook, and then Tasman's over there. And when we get up there, he takes over, which is
Oddly enough,
thoughtful.
it's getting chillier.
Yeah.
But I tell you, I muted most of the sound here because
Yeah, let me take the airplane. We're going to
Yeah.
hear we'll head over to
All right, your airplane.
for a bit.
Yeah, I get sightsee then anyway.
Yeah.
which is good. I mean, it is. That's one of those slate bits.
Yeah, there's a lot of climbers up around the park here.
Yeah.
We'll get through this bit pretty quick, guys. But there's just there was glaciers. Somewhere there's a place called the Gorilla there. Where that might be, I have no idea. But it was sure a popular place to be, flying around up there. We're 11.6 over Harper's Saddle. Sure. That's what I mean. Yeah, she was orbiting around a little bit down in here. But I was just shocked. This was another day of beautiful weather, and really no turbulence of consequence. Yeah, of course they do helicopter flights up in there, and ski. I'm sure they have ski planes can land on some of these glaciers. Oh, listen. So that's clever. Okay, we're only 500, going to be 500 feet apart. I'll let you know what my altimeter is set at.
It's a super good day to be up here.
Yeah.
It's smart.
And the cloud actually makes it more interesting. When
It
it's
does.
when it's a control.
Tear down the hut, keep down on the aircraft is slightly going to follow behind for climate control.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. That there's so many place names that you have to, you need familiarity to be flying in a busy place like that. It's like going to Arlington on the first, well, this Sunday will be a good example. It gets like a beehive down there when the weather gets nice.
It was like that today.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, this is just stunningly beautiful in here.
Whiskey X-ray is washed out, descending through 8,210
Well, we got a few more minutes, folks.
I'll just
Done with this.
Pull it here.
Yeah.
I'll slow down a bit.
You practice doing canyon turns or?
Unfolded here to the colors.
That's because of the way
Yeah, and he mentions that they'll often fly, like the little lake we flew around, they'll often fly into this little area. It's, glacier hanging around up in there. And that would have been fun, but obviously we couldn't do that day with the clouds. And then, but the terrain just, it changes so darn rapidly. And we end up landing down over in here, but you had to do I did a go around on this one because all the other traffic was landing this direction, so we'd set up to go in there, and then the other pilot, she came around and landed where I'm going to do, and there's a tailwind. Yeah. So I came around on base, turned to final, and okay, we'll go back around and make it a real landing. But that was the valley we came down from in the video there. And nice place to have lunch. But I thought I'd share that one to you before you get too bored. Now we want to go to that. I got some more PowerPoint to do, folks.
You have more PowerPoint?
Yeah. Okay. Hit that last slide. Just go down toward the bottom of that. Yeah. Maybe the next one might be it.
Clicker. Dave?
Huh? Oh.
You have control.
Okay, here we go.
You have control.
It really does go the other direction in the southern hemisphere.
I think. Yeah. So.
20 places before he found one it showed. Every place we check in, he'd go check bathroom please right away.
Yeah. That was the most common question that guys asked me when I came back. Yeah, so anyway, I thought I'd throw that in. That's that was the condos floor, I guess. But
Very nice.
Yeah, there we go. So hey. Thank you. Thanks for watching this is the first. God, I'm 70 years old and I never showed anybody my travel pictures before.
Like
Kennedy, do you know if there were any requirements to pack the emergency gear?
Yeah, he had a emergency go bag in the back of the 172. Fortunately, it had bug juice in it, so that was handy when we landed on the beach. Those hungry little bastards attacked us, drove us off, but yeah.
How was the cell phone reception?
Oh, okay, here's what happened. For her, wonderful. All right, so I've got the iPad, and my iPad, here we get a phone number for your iPad, for data. So we go out to Verizon, and we can. It was like, what was it, $10 or $20 a month more or something? It was, quite frankly, a small addition to do the international connections. But I couldn't do it with my iPad because of the phone number. So the clerk says, "Oh, here's what you do. You you make your phone your a hotspot."
Yeah.
So I'm basically 95% of my data is going through my phone into my iPad because I'm, looking up stuff and so forth. And those jerks at Verizon.
Unlimited data is not unlimited data. At some point, they start slowing it down and shutting it down.
They can see.
Somewhere about when they start to shut you down.
And I noticed my iPhone actually keeps track of how much of your data goes into hotspot, and so they're tracking if it's a hotspot. And they start turning down the data flow. And my cell phone got to the point it barely worked, and hers would just zoom, just cruising along. We happened to be near. And we were back in Queenstown, so I went I went to the airport, and I bought a local cell plan. A little, I've got a chip I can put in the iPad. It was like, gosh, what was it? It was like $40, $30 or $40 for a month of gigabytes of data, and I should have just bought that the first day I was there.
You didn't know.
So I didn't know.
Dave, you mentioned 2,000 a day is what you.
That's the price.
New Zealand money or U.S.?
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, it was the New Zealand dollar. It was. She knows. It's not a hot secret, but it was about 26,000 New Zealand dollars for us.
We had a great exchange rate. We were there. It was 0.6. So everywhere we went, the meals were a bargain. I mean, everything was 0.6 at the regular price. So they felt it was expensive for them, but because of our exchange rate, we actually had a relatively inexpensive trip.
Yeah,
for what it would ordinarily cost to go to New Zealand.
Well,
I mean, it was good.
Yeah, I think we sort of concluded that you were getting about twice your value for hospitality, food, and liquor being in New Zealand right now. We had some just amazing we turned in this darn RV thing, and that was the price of that was really, it was like paying American dollars for, they were real expensive to rent here too. I think we were paying $350 a day, just American, for this damn RV before we even took it anywhere. And so she gets, after we dumped the RV, she gets a Airbnb for 140 American with fees, maybe 180 at most, and we were across a little park from the beach in Nelson.
Breakfast included?
No, it was a one-bedroom apartment. It was a
for way less than the Airbnb.
Yeah, it's like 7-year-old place, gorgeous barbecue, hot tubs, pools, all kinds.
Friendly people.
Oh God, people. Everyone I've talked to who had been to New Zealand before I went had the same story. They basically said, when you go to New Zealand, it's like traveling back to America in the 50s and 60s, and that's a spot-on description. The people are amazingly friendly. They are. I'm a chatterbox. You've asked Linda, and my kids particularly. I drive them crazy, but they don't. I don't hold a candle to those people. You know how you in a grocery store or whatever, you're in line, hey, how you you start up a little conversation with a clerk or somebody standing next to you, and it's generally brief and here somewhat cursory, but in there you engage in the same conversation before it's hard to get away without learning their entire life story. They're really amazingly friendly and supportive people.
We're Australian people without the attitude.
Yeah, that's you spot on because Matt.
Such a difference. I mean, attitude, no attitude.
Yes.
Totally different.
Yeah. And Matt was just saying about the same. Because we were talking about the differences between them and The Kiwis. Well, my son had been down to New Zealand years ago. Before he got married, he would get together with some fraternity brothers and do a motorcycle ride somewhere. And that year they went to New Zealand. And he was riding a rented motorcycle down the spine of the South Island. Another impetus to get us going to this trip. The handle on his clutch, lever broke. And he gets, like pot metal or something. And in Lake Tupako, there was like one gas station, and he got the motorcycle in there. It was on a weekend, and the guy said, "No, but you might go see Joe down at the welding shop, and there's a machine shop down there, and they take the bike down there." And these guys stopped their work that day and welded up and fixed his motorcycle handle. Wouldn't charge him anything.
Yeah.
Refused, no, on us. Yeah. So it's kind of, to me, it was a lot like interacting with rural Americans or, small town Americans. It's just, most small town folks are that way. It just seems like more open, friendly.
And more small businesses like small welding shops.
Oh, yeah.
They're specialty shops. They're kind of going away in the U.S. and there's still very much there.
It reminded me as a kid growing up in Lincoln, Nebraska, where the stores are closed on Sunday. They open up at about 9 o'clock in the morning there in New Zealand, they're open around 9 o'clock. By 4:30 to 5, they're closing. And if they have one Thursday night, late night shopping, as late as sometimes 8 o'clock in the evening on Thursdays. And then they're open, a lot now on Saturdays. But it really reminded me of America in the 60s. Yeah. You said the same thing.
Well, I found that they were as curious about us as we were of them in the conversation, and they want to know about us. We want to know about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. They're very friendly. Good exchange.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it folds into the fact that the hospitality people are young, sort of college age or shortly after college age kids from all over the world. They want to learn about you too. They enjoy interacting with people too.
Yeah,
so it's
interesting.
Yeah, it's a really nice experience that way. Yeah, but it's a hell of a long flight though. What was it, 13? We went from Seattle to LA, little layover there, and then flew directly to Auckland. I think it was 13 hours on the way down and about 11 hours on the way back. But, yeah, that's too much detail.
Yeah. The Dateline.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
It is. They're a day ahead. Yeah, so you kind of, but it was only about 3 or 4 hours different time of day, just a different day. It was,
What airline did you take?
Delta.
Thanks.
There were 2 airlines that did direct from LA to Auckland, and Delta was one of the 2, and just the timing worked better. I can't even remember the other airline, maybe American.
We just got invited.
A lot of the flights you have to go to Australia first and then pop over, but that's a 6-hour pop over, 5 or 6 hour flight. That's
apparently done that.
So we took the direct flight from there.
Vancouver, Hawaii, Auckland.
Ooh,
is the way
nice. Yeah, we got invited to join our kids in Hawaii at the end of the month. He's going over on a business trip. The family's going. Hey, you want to join us? Of course, your parents know that. But sure. But the New Zealand trip kind of paid for our trip to Hawaii this month because of the air miles, I guess. Points. There is that. But,
I think it cost us $50 to fly to Hawaii.
I generally focusing on the flying. The GA community is really, it's low key, friendly, supportive. I got the sense that the pilots down there really weren't all that concerned about regulations as much as we are here they are not as regulated there. Or their activities are not scrutinized so much as they are here, at least in America, even on the GA level. You got to worry a lot more than down there. Well, you saw some of the mountain flying with the clouds and so forth. Come on. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the old story I told years ago.
Yeah.
Left Christchurch and we were going to go somewhere and had the instructor with me. And we got up and went to make a turn. I did a clearing turns.
Yeah.
And he says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm doing a clearing turn looking for traffic." He says, "We are the bloody traffic."
That's pretty true. Yeah, I mean,
much regulation.
Yeah, except for like around Queenstown, Dunedin down there, and the Mount Cook and Milford. Yeah, there'd be long silence. It's like flying down, west coast to the inland areas rural areas of America too. Yeah, a lot of fun. So anyway, I'm gonna. That's it.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.